It's
the No Class Podcast
with your host, Eddie.
and Matt Danger Gullet.
Danger. Well, here we are, once again, back again, with a long con report for 2019.
Whew, what a weekend, man.
So, we're tired. We have very little time. We're trying to squeeze this one out for you.
I got a little con crud going.
That's always good, though.
What's a con without a little con crud?
You have to have it.
Have to. Well, that's the mark of a fine con.
It's the rules.
It is, duh.
We do have another episode. We have Brendan LaSalle's episode in the bank.
Oh, yeah.
So you probably get that in a week or two, but maybe just ego or whatever. But I thought you guys might want to hear the con report more urgently, more pressing.
They probably want to hear Brendan, actually, but...
You don't think they want to hear about the con? Because the interview is not specifically about the con. It's
No.
It's not as time sensitive, I'd say.
Even though Brendan had some very nice things to say about the con.
Well, we had a gun.
Yeah, to his head. I mean,
So what's he going to do?
Yeah, this is Texas. We're outlaws, mofo.
Yep. Speaking of Brendan, let's jump in and start with the con started for us on Thursday.
Absolutely. And so, we darted over. We drove an hour east, picked up Brendan, came here, let him get freshened up at the hotel, and then drove an hour west to lovely Tyler, Texas, for a game at the amazing Geek World Gamery. But sadly, due to inclement weather, frigid cold, and beating winds, and the forces of hell, no one was available to game at Geek World.
So we were not embarrassed by that at all.
Not a bit. To all of our friends in Tyler, you're dead to us.
Yeah. Crawl back in your hole.
You sons. Anyway, so that was Thursday.
We had some delicious fuzzy taco.
We did. I love a fuzzy taco.
I don't know if Brendan had that chain of taco before, but he seemed like he enjoyed it.
I believe so. I'm glad he got to have some good East Texas, cuisine. He got to have tacos and whatnot.
Thursday was also a special day for another reason.
What would that be?
It was somebody's birthday.
I know, and I want to thank everybody that came up and shook my hand and patted my back and
made sure you got the con crud.
Exactly. Thank you so much. But it really was. It was kind of like someone's like, "Did you get to celebrate your birthday?" And I said, "Yeah, I did," and really in a big way because everybody was really nice and it really, I really appreciate it.
So on the way back from Tyler, we rolled back into Longview. And we got in a little bit of a birthday game with Brendan.
Yeah, that was fun. And we got to play with our buddies, Ian and Matt. Right?
Yeah, and I'm trying to think that module was Symptom of the Universe.
I think so, yeah.
That's my best guess.
Right on.
Part of the unreleased stuff that we get to play.
What do you call it? His septology?
Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah. So, but it was fun. We were enjoying it. There was like a mystery, and we're inside some dude's death dream or whatever. I mean, talk about what a concept. It was cool.
So I think Thursday kicked off for us about 7 o'clock or something crazy, and it ended about midnight.
Yeah. So how could I have possibly got con crud with all the sleep deaths that I kept myself in all weekend? But oh well.
And then Friday started for us about 7 o'clock.
Yep. We had to rush to be there so some of our vendors could set up early. Traditionally, we're like, we'll see you at 10. Nope. But I could see why. We had one vendor that really had so much stuff and such an elaborate setup. It took a while to set all that up.
Yeah, when they said how much time they would need to set up, I said, no way will it take that long. And it took them about 7 hours from what I saw to get completely set up.
Yeah, it was wild. But what a setup. And man, say what you will about bringing that much stuff. I mean, I think it paid off for them because I know they made money. And and everybody was just starstruck with their setup, and they did well. I think that was Splat Games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we appreciate, thank you to all of our vendors, Splat and Etten Games, Geek World, Inkling, Story Crafts, Durthan's Bags.
Can he do it, folks?
Who was the one game, the author, the guy? They had the wolf on his table, werewolf.
That was Adventure Maximum.
And I feel bad I didn't get a picture of that damn werewolf. I kept meaning to do it. I just never did.
And I want to say it was Dennis McDonald.
Yeah, Dennis McDonald was our author. Yeah. And Frog God, of course, duh. I can't leave Frog God out. They had quite the booth, and they had a lot of neat product. That's some cool stuff that I've been looking forward to. Tomb of Horrors for 5e. That is kick-ass stuff. And you got Teagle Manor for 5th edition. Teagle Manor's a classic. A lot of great stuff from the Frogs. It was great to see those guys, but we'll get to that, I guess.
And I think you're missing two. Just to stump you, to rack your brain.
I don't like you right now.
One was new. New Big Dragon.
New Big Dragon. Oh, God, man. Yeah, we love Richard LeBlanc. Yeah, New Big Dragon. But he showed up kind of late. That's what threw me off my game.
Yeah, and I think he's talking about premiering something at Long Con Spring for all you D30 fans out there.
And that's not the only premiere we might be having, but the other one's kind of a secret. Psst.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome if that one goes through. Not that the D30 one won't be awesome, but
no. I mean, we're
that one
excited
seems like
about
that one's pretty much locked in. We can chat about it and we'll expect it and look forward to it and all that.
I own everything that Richard LeBlanc makes. If you're doing an old school game and you don't have his stuff, you're an idiot. And even if it's not old school, he's got his D30 like world builder stuff. That is phenomenal. I use that to build a DCC campaign, my world. And I thought that book is just priceless. It's awesome stuff.
Well, I'm going to go to this, and then I'm going to go back to old school.
Sure.
Crystal Elf. Never forget Crystal Elf. She's been there since day one. She's been at all of our cons. Yeah, Long Cons, Red River Cons.
Red River. She's been a solid addition, every time.
But back to the old school.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to get Etten games in.
Yeah. I mean, David is a great guy. Every year when I go to NTRPG, that's the booth I make a beeline to. And I love my buddy, Ben Barsh and Ben Burns. Bill Barsh, Ben Burns, yeah. And always have to shake their hands, see what they have on their tables, usually buy some stuff there. But really, don't be mad, guys, but David's Etten Games is that's the one I'm always like, I got to go see what they have, because he's always got something that blows my mind or surprises me or is like, what? Where did he get this? And then what's crazy is he'll have something that's hard to find, and then it'll be like in mint condition, and he's giving it away. I'm like, is this like Needful Things or something? Like, because I mean, seriously, I mean, you have to wonder, because I remember money was a little tight. We just got back from Italy, me and the missus, and I'm like, I put the word on her, like, you got to watch your expenditures, woman, And then damned at the con, I said, stay away from his booth, stay away from his booth, stay away from his booth. And I came over just to shake his hand and talk with him. And I glanced over at one of the containers. I was like, ooh, who was that? Oh, my. And yeah, he had like some of those old school modules, ones that are pastel. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, they probably got bad, rust on the staples, and probably the maps have been, their periphery have been pulled out or something. No, man. They were in pristine condition. They didn't have edge wear, no rust in the staples. And I thought, well, I can't afford them. But I asked, made that classic mistake. Well, how much? He looks at his phone. He looks on the internet. He goes, I'll give them to you for X amount, which was, I'm just like, oh, crap. You got me. Hooks right there in the mouth, man. And he had some kick-ass old lead. Anyway, yeah. But then he had a lot of cool new school stuff. I got the Savage Worlds box set thing that's like $150. Mm-hmm. That thing is packed full of so much cool stuff. It's got a screen and a world builder's book, and it's got the Benny chips, and it's got a deck of cards, and it's got it's packed full of so much crap. It's a really good deal.
Well, I got a second edition Ravenloft book that I've been looking for. And speaking about new stuff, he had this new GM screen stat tracker.
Oh yeah, that thing was sexy.
He did a review on it. I guess it's a video podcast. Sometimes he does product reviews. Sometimes he's doing interviews. It's called Slaying with Dice. Uh-huh. Check it out. He definitely sold me one of those stat trackers with that video. Oh, yeah. It's pretty much got the whole monster manual.
Oh, wow.
So you don't have to drag that book around with you if you know, like, hey, these are the 5 or 10 things they're going to run in tonight.
Just bring those little bookmark looking
things. Just pull out that little bookmark thing. You can hang it right over the GM screen if you're used to doing your tracking that way. All the information, and you can do these for your PCs too, all the information will be facing the GM, and all the names are facing the players in initiative order.
Like a quick little thumbnail image that seemed like was on the side showing the boards of players.
Yeah.
So they get a little image and a name. Yeah.
But that was really cool. I picked that up. And yeah, getting Etten Games was a big coup for us. Yeah. I've really been wanting them to come, and we're not an old school con, but I'd like to be a all the time con, new school, old school. So getting them and being able to represent that was a big deal to me.
Oh, absolutely.
And more old school, I finally checked out that Osric book.
Uh-huh.
I love it. That's from the Black Blade Publishing folks.
Yeah.
They sent us some goodies, and I got a chance to check out that
Well,
book.
isn't one of those like Alan Grow? Like, I guess the guy that calls himself Grow Dog or whatever.
Yeah, John Hirschberg.
Yeah. And the thing about it is he's like, he owns the longtime Greyhawk internet page where it's all this lore and history compiled through the years on, living the Greyhawk world. And yeah, he's definitely one of the old school guys. But I always knew I've had the Osric book in my hand a dozen times. I've never pulled the trigger because I've not really consistently run an old school campaign. But with you running old school games at cons, I could have told you that's an asset because it's all that stuff compiled in one place.
And just changing the font for older eyes. So much easier to read, and it's so much better laid out.
Yeah, because that's why it's such a thick book, because the font's a little bigger. But yeah, we're not in the 80s and 90s anymore. Yeah, I mean, I can't, that little small print don't cut it. Yeah. So sure, absolutely.
Yeah, so Friday. We kicked it off about getting up at 7, getting up there at 8.
Yeah.
And then doors opened at noon. And games started at 1.
Yep. And we had a good turnout. we actually sold out. By Saturday, we had sold every ticket, every spot we could. So I mean, what a coup that this year we had a complete and total sellout. Some of them were day passes, but still.
Yeah, this one, I think everybody loved the new digs.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody loved the new space.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't cramped in. Everybody loved that.
Vendors were could spread out and whatnot.
But that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
We didn't want you to be cramped. Technically, we could have sold more. I mean, if people had come up, I guess we could have kept shoving them in.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a limit that we knew what we wanted in there.
Yeah. And our biggest concern is we want to make sure there's enough game masters and games for the players. How wrong would that be to sell a ticket and someone show up and go, well, I couldn't get in a game. There weren't any games available. I'd feel terrible. So we're not going to, God bless, there were some people that bought tickets and then just plopped down at the table and just kind of looked sad. And I'd go over and go, what's going on, buddy? And they're like, well, the games are already going. I'm like, I'd pick them up by the hand, go, come on. I'd walk into a table where I'd see only 2 or 3 people and go, hey, Game Master, room for one more? Yeah, there you go, buddy. And but I mean, I had to give them that little usher, But yeah, everybody got game that I know of. Everybody raved about the venue, I mean, why not? The venue was phenomenal. Just what a great venue.
Yeah, I said just that venue alone made us look professional.
And then because it was big enough space, everyone could spread out. Noise. I had a lot of people that complained in the past about.
Oh yeah.
Noise. No, I never felt that like when I ran my game, I didn't have to holler top of my lungs.
You did anyway, but you didn't have to.
That's what I do. But still, like I love someone goes, your voice carries. I was like, that's an understatement.
Well, I don't know if you noticed what Brendan did. He put himself over in a corner and shouted into the corner.
Yeah, brilliant.
Smart move.
Like we talked about, going to cons, you'll see something brilliant and go, I'm going to steal that idea because I've been told that my voice carries in the future. I thought, that's brilliant. I'm going to put myself in a corner. I'm going to face the corner.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Well, but they're going to put this
baby Matt.
Baby Matt. Matt, Danger Baby Gullet.
Yep.
There you go.
Well, were there any exceptional games that you could think of on Friday? We haven't mentioned David Beatty yet.
Oh yeah, David,
our other special guest.
I'll tell you that little anecdote. So Beatty, like Eddie said, Brendan put himself in the back left corner, and Beatty was sitting there in between his games, chatting with him, and so Beatty, with that wonderful, Carolina drawl. And I love that. He says like we don't have a drawl, but he says, where am I at, Matt? And I said, oh, you're in the traditions room. Traditions. I said, yeah, it's down by the check-in desk, that beautiful glassed-in room with the fireplace and the big, huge conference table. And he goes like, oh, my. And he gave Beatty crap. He goes, well, it looks like I'm in the deluxe room, Beatty, not you. Suck it. And Beatty was like, F off, It was hilarious. But, yeah, Beatty, it was funny to watch a little bit of pleasant, rivalry there. And but yeah, Beatty started I think his first game was probably in the Ooh La La Put Your Pinky Out Traditions room.
Sponsored by the Longview Computer Center. Cody, we dropped a plug for you.
Yeah, thank
you.
Longview
Computer Center.
Yeah.
Where all of your computers will be centralized.
Thank you. But yeah. But then the really exciting...
You won't be able to sponsor it next time. Yeah, you've already heard this, right?
Yeah, the
frogs are planning on sponsoring it.
That's where Bill Webb's going to be holding court probably out of there.
Yeah, I'm going to jump the gun and talk about that room a little bit more.
Sure, go ahead.
When I was running my game on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
we had a few ladies in the group who were a little cooler because I'm going to keep it in that room a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
But it's got that nice built-in fireplace.
Oh, yeah. It's cozy.
So they could go over and sit in the fire, and that was just wonderful when you can do such great temperature control like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, how cool. When's the last time you got to play a D&D game on a big, thick, gorgeous mahogany table with a fireplace nearby? Noise.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Very
All right.
nice. Sexy.
Back to awesome games on Friday.
Friday night, though, the big game, the one that was on everyone's lips, the most pivotal, just amazing game ever, was my tournament game.
I didn't hear anything about that. What happened?
I don't doubt it. Anyway, it was Death by Nexus. And,
Death by Nexium.
Exactly. Yeah. Enjoy those kidneys being blown out. Death by Nexium. But no, it was 3 teams of 3, law, chaos, neutrality. Again, neutrality rose to the top.
Well, I had heard that someone had already won that in the pre-trial, the pre-run of it.
That was
me.
Yeah, playing neutral. I think it must be biased towards neutral. That's the only explanation.
Well, I guess you can't say it without insulting somebody. But did the neutrals play smart? Or did they just get real lucky?
No, they played well. They played well.
I will say, when I played it, you would think law and chaos are going to go right each other. Like if it was good and evil and neutral. Yeah. Good and evil are going to clash, and neutral's like, meh. There's
a couple of times they kind of put neutral in like kind of a bad spot. But one thing was funny was, you remember in the Force, which is one of the cooler ones that y'all seem to enjoy.
That one was weird.
Yeah, they just kind of left the cool urns alone, and I was like, that's half the fun, really.
I was talking to Matt Couch about that one. I was like, did you guys mess with the urns? And they're like, no. Yeah. I was like, man, ours that one dragged on forever to me.
And because of the
urns.
Maybe because they did mess with the urns.
Because they kept picking up the urns instead of going over and hitting somebody with a sword. Yeah. You throw an urn and take a chance.
Well, they kept trying to put the damn armor on, which takes like 3 turns. Just screw the armor.
Yep.
But I remember when I was looking at you guys to do this. Y'all didn't. Well, you didn't. You might have done it, but yeah, you did do it. But the other 2 teams didn't when you played it. But these guys were smart. What I would do, pick up the damn bows
and get out. Light out.
You don't even have to move and just sit there and just feather the crap out of the other team. Focus fire and burn them down. And so anyway, but unfortunately for neutrality, like, you appear in a random location. Mm-hmm. In y'all's game, I think it was like chaos and law were like right next to each other, so they're going to duke it out. On this table, like law and chaos were at the farthest, most divergent points on the rectangle, and neutral was right in one of the middle corners between them. They dogpiled neutral, but still neutral won. So whatever. And even on any given Thursday, where the neutral team is in the middle of the Bifrost Bridge, law and one's like chaos, and the other, law and chaos ran past them and was just duking it out.
Yeah, see?
I don't know. I might be misremembering it, but ultimately, neutrality won first, chaos took second, law took third. And it's funny because if you look at the picture, I love Matt Couch.
Yeah, it's a good picture.
He did the little sulking kind of pout thing. He's playfully. I mean, he's a good sport.
Law don't go around here, law dog.
That's right. But anyway, it was a great picture. But no, great game. Had a lot of fun. And no, everybody, the games Friday were good. I mean, I wouldn't know about any of the other ones, but.
Yeah, I can't say much. I heard a lot of good reports, but
yeah, the Lilies were there in force.
Did you do a Midnight Madness on Friday?
Yeah, I wouldn't unless you put that out there, but because you're loyal and faithful con guys or whatever. Eddie's a good sport. He put in to run 2 games, but still only ran 1.
Hey.
But you put in.
I get paid for the. I'm like stuntman. I get paid for the attempt.
You get credit. You get Well. It's just in me. I love running games and all this gaming energy's going on, enthusiasm.
It's all over them.
I'm like, man, it's like, I want to run something else. And there's an adventure I wrote when I first started doing DCC called Caverns of the Dead God. And it's one I'm really kind of proud of. And I haven't ran it in a while.
You should be.
Well, thank you. Well, anyway, I dusted that one off and ran it. And at my table, I had some people that were all great players and people that are really good players and whatnot. And they gave me some attaboys at the end, which was nice. But we all got so exhausted and tired, we never made it to the end. In fact, we barely got our toe into the dungeon. But they just had fun in town, riffing, interacting with my NPCs and following up the rumors from the rumor chart, old school. But I had fun with it. So I had volunteered to finish it Saturday night. And I love all day long Saturday, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? And I thought, I feel pretty good, but I'll probably be exhausted. I won't do it. Time comes Saturday, I'm like, you know what? I'll slam a Mountain Dew. I'll do it. all these youngsters, 20s and 30-year-olds, were like, Mr. Man, I'm going to beg off because boo-hoo, I'm tired. And I'm like, you don't think my 50-year-old ass is tired?
And let me add this in, too. When you guys hear the interview that we did with Brendan,
Oh, God.
you're going to hear how tired Matt is.
I was a zombie. I really, in retrospect, I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah. So we made it through that. And then Matt's like, I'm going to go run a game. I was like, are you nuts?
And no, but luckily the players, I'm glad that they
Let you out of it?
let me out of it because honestly, if I had done that, I probably would be genuinely sick, not just this little bit of crud. Because, I got a thick skull.
All right. Well, did that just get us through Saturday? We're still talking about
We were talking about Friday.
Friday.
but
Now
you
into
kinda jumped- yes, about
Friday
me.
night was into the midnight gaming.
So
Saturday,
Man,
I ran my Temple of Elemental Evil in the first slot.
And how'd that go?
Pretty good. We'll see if it continues, how that's going to work, because part of it is whenever we do it, we have to remember how first edition works. So it's like we have
Fake
4 hours. Yeah, we have 4 hours, and we're going to use part of it to remember what happened last time. And we're going to use part of it to remember how the system works.
It'd be more work on you, but you could like send out a reminder email because you can email via tabletop events your players at a given table. That's more work on you.
Well, heck, I'm friends with pretty much all the players, so
Right,
I can
so-
Facebook it.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question. Just with off the top of me, this just popped in there.
I don't know.
Being that it's old school, whereas most games, I must tell you, I wouldn't want more than 6 players tops. You could technically take more, couldn't you?
Yeah,
You wouldn't want to, probably, but you could.
right.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing. When you get more players, you get less play time for each player.
Yeah, individually.
So that's all I care about, is letting everybody have their little moment to shine.
Yeah.
And if you're a wizard, do not put a frog head on and try and French kiss a giant crawdad. That's the lesson we learned.
There you go. Lessons were learned. Or were they? Were they learned?
But gold was one, and I said, this could be the one where they finish it up. And they got about 2 more rooms in from the last time.
But if they're having fun, who cares, right?
It's very old school where it's like, you go out and have a fight, got to go back to town and rest. Go out and have a fight, got to come back into town and rest.
But I like that. Maybe I'm building it up.
There's
to
nothing wrong with it.
nostalgia. Yeah, I missed that. I like that. 'Cause I
No
know that,
henchman.
Christopher, who ran a game Sunday.
Oh, James.
Christopher James, he ran an old school mod, and he was talking about, oh my God, one encounter after another, after another, after another. I mean, he was like, it was just too much content. And I said, well, that's an old school module.
Yeah, you can't just stop and take a short rest, or we're going to sleep here and get back all of our hit points and spells.
Yeah, you can't do that. It is a different creature, that old school. But yeah, but I'm glad. It sounds like everybody had fun. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. But for you, is it tough running, like getting into that mindset of the old school gaming?
No, because, again, I'll say we were talking to Brendan about this, and I always say it. I think I'm more of an old school GM, that I run in that style. So probably having me run something like Temple of Elemental Evil is as close as you're going to get to those old, like, 80s, 70s, 80s games.
Cool.
Because I'm that angry as a GM. I'll take you out back and spank you.
Well, I'm glad that these players are getting a chance to experience what we came up in,
For sure.
Yeah, to have that experience. If we could have, we could throw some chic,
But it's not that
peppers
far
in
off
or
from,
something.
like, DCC.
No, not
mean-
really. That's why DCC is a great little throwback,
The thing with DCC and MCC is it gets a little bit more gonzo in certain modules.
Well, yeah, it could be. Oh, absolutely.
That's when it's like, wee.
They try to bring the dread or the weird or whatever, kind of bring it
the
kinda
weird
hard.
and wacky.
Yeah, well, not so much wacky, but sometimes.
No.
Yeah.
They bring the weird and the players bring the wacky.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, we're talking about you, Matt. Anyway,
Ian. Matt and Ian.
my dwarf doll banana, and my cleric turpentine. Ugh. I hate
Anything
you.
exciting happen Saturday noon, Saturday mid-shift, mid-sessions?
Not that I'm aware of.
Nothing that just jumps out and screams. I'm sure there were plenty of incredible games.
No, I mean, I heard a lot of good things, a lot of positive things. People had a good time, good games. Yeah, I mean, this is a good con, what was really cool was, and not a dig on other cons or something that charge
Dig.
a fee. or I guess probably game cons aren't really bad, but these other geek dork
Oh yeah.
dweeb cons or something, you pay a fee to come in to interact with vendors and buy stuff and pay. But I understand they had to pay for that damn venue, and whereas they probably already charge a fee to each booth holder, they still probably, to make up the difference, have to charge a fee to come in. But I'm really tickled that it's perfectly free for anybody to come in and interact with our vendors. I'm sure our vendors love that. They can make their money, and we're happy for them. We want our vendors to just go gangbusters. There were people that I saw when I was working the desk that I'd look and go, I kind of know who we sold badges to. And we know a lot of our con goers, because some people, God bless y'all, y'all have been here. This is all 3 years or the first 2 years or whatever.
And if you put in Red Rivers, some of you have been there. This is what, the 5th one?
Yeah. And thank you for your loyalty. But anyway, I'm like, I don't recognize that person. Who is that person? They don't have a badge on, but they were milling around the vendors. So it's good to know that people came off the street to interact with their vendors and buy stuff. In fact, there's a buddy of mine, a former coworker, that she sent me like a message like, hey, my daughter's there and she says it's great and she's buying stuff. And so I was like, well, great. So, it's really cool to think that we could help provide our own little mini dweeb dorked con thing or whatever for the locals, even though they get that other thing in June.
Yeah, but the thing with this is you get some cool stuff you haven't seen before, especially like Splat Gaming. They brought in a lot of new bells and whistles and things that we hadn't seen in this area yet.
Well, my old buddy George Ledner, he saw those boats.
Yeah.
The ones, that was cool. He bought a couple of those, I think.
Good.
Yeah, no, it's great. He was smiling ear to ear. He loved his purchase.
Well, that goes back to Etten Gaming, bringing in all that old school stuff that you don't see around here all that much. I know Bradley hit them up pretty good. So
he got an arm load.
He made their weekend.
I don't want to think TJ got some of that old school lead.
Yeah, and I spent some decent money with them.
I love that old lead, man. Yep. There's just something about it. How else can you get lead poisoning? Come on.
Well, you know what comes after the Sunday or the Saturday midday session? Us.
That's
doing this crap.
Yeah.
Jibber jabbering. If you enjoy this, you'd love our auction or raffle chit chat. And if you love our raffle chit chat, you'd love this. I don't know why you would enjoy any of this, but thank you.
Your dysfunction is our pleasure. But no, people were, wouldn't like save some of those fake laughs for me. People were really chuckling and giggling out in the audience.
We're entertaining. We're damned entertaining.
Well, we can be. But no, and poor Matt Couch, he was a good sport. We gave him a lot of grief. He even let us bean him with some granite dice.
He beaned himself for legal purposes.
Pretty much, yeah. I was
put it on the record.
Now the concussion's on us. I was checking his pupils after that, but yeah. Anyway, he was a really good sport about it. But he and Ian were great, and we were giving Matt so much crap.
He took some of that heat for the raffle.
Yeah, he did.
Because usually there's somebody that wins way too much stuff, and everyone hates them. So.
Well, playfully hates them, but apparently, God, we had one con-goer that really, did I mention this?
I don't know. Or did somebody make an attempt on someone?
Well, it's kind of like, what is it? The guy that poor-mouthed Dimebag Daryl, so some guy showed up and shot him or something. Well, it's like we were playfully saying like, hey, when y'all guys, catch Matt in the parking lot later and rough him up, or when you see this man later on in the con, be sure to point and boo. We're joking. Like this. Apparently, Matt came back later and said some guy was literally walked past him, locked eyes, never breaking eye contact, and glared at him. And I'm like, good Lord.
I think that real story was some kid.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that one?
Well, wasn't that the same fellow that's now persona non grata, probably?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I heard about that. He made the ape noises
at
him.
He basically bowed up and grunted like an ape at him and glared.
Started beating his chest.
Here's something. I'm like, whatever. But yeah, by the way, if there's anybody that was like, hey, it's my first long con, but it's going to be my last probably because this one guy that was so disruptive, that's not going to be a problem. I'm going to be a bad guy and put it out there, but trust me, that won't be a problem again.
All right. So that takes us into the last session on Saturday.
Yeah.
Which contained the AL Epic.
Oh, yeah, the Epic 3 tables? Yeah.
Was it 3 or was it 4?
No, it's 4.
Because you had 2 storied tables, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then you had Caesar.
Uh-huh.
And who ran the... was it Nick?
I don't know.
I'm going to say it was Nick that ran that other table.
That was awfully nice of Nick to do that.
He's a wonderful guy.
He's a hell of a guy.
So thank you to all the folks that ran that.
Yeah, thank y'all. And anybody that doesn't get it, in Epic, what makes it cool is there's 4 different full tables of gamers, but they're all on the same quest together. That's what makes those epics
Interacting.
so cool. It's an interactive. The tables can help each other out or interact. They're on the same quest together. That's kind of cool, you know.
All right, that takes us into Sunday, the last day.
Sunday.
Did anything happen on Sunday, or did we just kind of sleep through it?
I had a really great chance to have a good conversation with Sean Roberson of Pinnacle Games.
Savage Worlds?
About Savage Worlds. And, you know, Savage Worlds has kind of been on my radar for a while. You and I bought the softbound book like about a year ago. Mm-hmm. And there's a guy, Brack, out of Tyler, who works for Geek World, super great guy. He's been, you know, threatening to, you know, run some Savage Worlds for us for a while. And so I've been wanting to check it out. And so anyway, but I've just kind of, for one reason or another, haven't done it. Well, after Sean really went into detail and told me some interesting stuff. And Sean did a lot of stuff, the riffs for Pinnacle, you know, and he's a employee there now. But yeah, he had some really great things to say, some really neat anecdotes about the industry and their imprint, and dealing with Kevin Sabita, whatever, the guy that did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He talked about meeting him, and he was just very charming and just really a nice guy. And you know, we had some great conversations, and so I was like, all right, that does it. So that's when I went over and grabbed the box set from Etten Games, and I bought the core book from Geek World. Try to spread my money around a little bit.
Spread it around.
But you know, Sean's a super great guy, and now I'm like, well, shit, I can't wait to. I wonder if we're gonna wait till. If I don't get to see him till April or maybe next November. I don't know if he goes to NTRPG, but you know, Sean was at our very first Long Con. Did you know that?
No.
No, John Watson, and he brought him with him to the very first Long Con. In fact, my very first con tournament game, which was the tourney I ran
that Friday night,
which kind of started my trend of running a tourney game at my first night at any con. Sean was in the table, you know, and Watson won the game, by the way. Mm-hmm. He got my buckle. I want my buckle back.
I want my buckle back.
Give me my buckle back. Anyway, now you keep that, brother. You earned it. If anybody can have my buckle, it's John Watson. He's a big damn hero. He is a hero. That's an uncomfortable silence.
And you're in charge of taking care of those, remember?
I know. But no, seriously, once again, we want to thank John because, you know, we're not mad at anybody, but, you know, somebody kind of short notice, because that's how life works and these things happen. Boom. We had a number of holes in our schedule. We're like, oh, shit. And we're like thinking, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And just while we're trying to decide whose ass we're going to kiss or who we're going to go to crying and begging them, please run some games for us. Out of the blue, dun, 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 his cape pops out. Here comes John Watson. I'll be glad to run this game and that game and help out and blip, bloop. What a guy. What a guy. Big damn hero.
Anything else to say about Sunday?
What am I forgetting?
Heck if I know.
I don't know.
My game didn't make on Sunday, which
That's
I was
true.
going to be running the excellent adventure Mansion of Madness.
Until we come up with a different name for it.
Written by our own Chimichanga Matt.
That's right. You know it, Old Danger.
And I was reading through it, and I said, I am really excited to run that. And one of the interesting things that I think came out of the con was we're all excited to run something now.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play that Savage Worlds.
Yep. Very.
I want to get a chance to run that module. I'm going to do a makeup at Geek World.
Cool. Yeah, because and it's like one of those things that if anybody's interested, let us know, because y'all give us so much feedback. But anyway, I'm thinking seriously about getting an editor, or I wonder if Leela, if we paid her like somebody let her a word. Yeah, she's brilliant like that.
And an artist.
And an artist, duh. Let her look at both of those and maybe give us a little feedback, put a little polish on it. And we're thinking about putting something out there, man. Putting it out there. Might play test a little more. It'd break your hearts if you got to play test some of these, right?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I want to run it, so I can give you a little bit more feedback. And
I appreciate that.
You've got it all in your head, so if something goes XYZ, you know how it's supposed to be.
Right.
Whereas I think somebody else running it, that's like, oh crap, I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
That backstory.
Yeah, they need to be able to, because like you said,
figure it out on the fly.
You're working from your memory and it fills in those blanks. But if someone looks at it and goes, wait a minute, how the hell did you get there? Mm-hmm. You know, because there's that mental step that's not detailed in the adventure. And you're right. And I mean, that's why I'm looking for some good feedback. and I'm hoping you'll be able to help me put some polish on it there.
Well, here's another one that I don't even know if we've discussed this yet. For swag for the con, I'm contemplating maybe that we should throw out a couple of mods. That'd be
cool.
Something for the grab bag.
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't own any stores yet.
Yeah.
We don't make any, we're not Reaper or something like that where we're like, just take a couple off the shelf.
Yeah.
So, homemade gifts are the best, aren't they, folks?
Absolutely.
Bespoke gifts.
Bespoke. I was waiting for that. I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it. We made that word our own.
Yep. So the other thing I'll say about Sunday is nobody closes down a con faster than us.
Heck yeah.
We got that packed up and ready to go at 6 o'clock, I think.
Down to a science.
The doors were open till 7, but we had everybody out of there by 6, and everybody was happy and on the road.
Yeah, definitely.
This is another one we talk about all the time. We kind of have thought about doing like an MVP of the con or person of the con, but you've got people like John Watson.
Oh, yeah.
You got Robert Vegeta, always running us all those games.
Oh, absolutely.
James Ward.
By the way, you'd appreciate, I gave Robert a great big hug when I first saw him, and he loved it.
But no sloppy kiss?
No, actually, he sat there kind of like, what in the hell are you doing? Don't touch me was what I got from that.
Good.
It was fun. I enjoyed it kind of all the more. But no, we appreciate Robert. He's a workhorse. James Ward always runs a lot of games, and he runs an amazing Call of Cthulhu game. Ian and Matt Couch ran a crap ton of games. And we really appreciate them for that. They're fun. They're just a fun pair. They're nuts.
Yeah, I'm going to throw it out. Shout out to Doug Williams, who's always a big help to us.
Thank you. Yeah, Doug he's such a wonderful person.
I think that was his first con game that he ran this year, and same thing for Christopher James.
Yeah. And hey, Russell Cross ran a crap ton of D&D, and his table was full a couple times, packed, and he handled it like a champ.
I'm trying to think. Lauren ran a bunch of games,
and she orchestrates those Adventures League and makes it look easy. She's great.
Anybody else?
But that's why we don't do this. I know we're forgetting people, and I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings, but there's just so many balls in there.
Yeah, thanks to the Frogs and to Splat Gaming and to Etten and Geek World and all the people that put a little something in the
and we had
raffle for us.
The new guy, Luke, I think. He ran a crap ton of games. Super nice guy.
Luke Edgman.
That's right, yeah. So
how do I remember that name?
How?
Luke Edgman, come on down. The GM raffle.
Oh, yeah. Poor Luke. We called his name like 5 times, but you have to be present to win. And someone goes, that's kind of harsh. And I said, dude, you don't know. We pulled his mother-in-law's name on a raffle ticket. And he said, nope, got to be present to win. This guy's
present
hard
to
ass,
win.
hateful.
There's no screwing around.
That's right. I had to throw that away, man.
Law and order every time.
Kathy is a saint. I was like, but nope, not even his own mother-in-law. By the rules. Lawful evil.
Yep.
Anyway, so there's
somebody that we're forgetting, and I'm sorry if that
Please
offends
don't
you.
be upset. Yeah.
We just didn't write down the names.
Yeah, like I said, Beatty ran a lot of games. We appreciate David Beatty. He was in the podcast. He was just really super great. We got him some good Cajun meat pies, so that he had some good eating while he was here. He did. And we appreciate David Beatty coming out, because poor Beatty, it sounds like he flew out at the last minute. I mean, left at 4
Yeah, we barely got to high five him.
Yeah, poor guy. I just hate that he really didn't get to I just thought he didn't get a chance to enjoy himself, but to hear him tell it, he had a phenomenal time. And
we had a great time with Brendan LaSalle. You guys will hear that interview soon.
Oh yeah, Brendan was super. We had fun with Brendan. Imagine the poor bastard is stuck in the truck with us for an hour from Shreveport to here, an hour to Tyler, an hour back from Tyler. And I remember thinking, well, gosh, what will we talk about? And my wife said, when have you ever been at a loss for words?
So welcome to the podcast, folks. I just put a mic in front of him and nod once in a while.
Here comes the verbal diarrhea. But we had it. But anyway, to finish the whole weekend's excitement, we did a game over at Dragon's Lair
on Monday. So the con was a 5-day weekend for us?
Yes.
Started on Thursday at 7 and didn't end till, I don't know,
7, 8 o'clock till
we got home on Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night. But I tell you what, Brendan ran his experimental game, and man, it was so much fun. I'm seriously, guys. Seriously,
you guys.
It blew my mind. It was
great.
That
was the thing. I'm excited to run stuff because, like I said, I've I was reading your module and getting pumped up on that, and then I think just learning more about Savage Worlds, we're getting pumped up on that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then seeing Brendan run some games and some of the different stuff that he
Masterful.
did. You're like, yeah, all right, I'm going to copy that, or I'm going to try that. There's a lot of...
I'm stealing with both hands.
Yeah.
Both hands. Just stealing.
So we got a lot of new tricks in the bag that we want to try out.
Added more to our repertoire. But yeah, it was us, the guy that owns Dragon's Lair, an old friend of ours, and a guy that was there as our fourth man. I have no idea what his name is. God bless him. Jonathan, maybe, or something?
Why not?
Yeah, I think Jonathan. If not, I apologize, whatever your name is. But he was a cool guy. I liked him. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
Yeah, he really was. Kyle Reese, nice guy.
Kyle Reese.
He's a good guy. So that was pretty much it, right?
Yeah, that's all the con report. What I would like to say is if you have any comments, complaints, questions, yada, 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 that you didn't say to us at the con or you haven't relayed to us so far, we're still looking for feedback. If there was stuff that was really good, we want to know. If there was stuff that was not very good, keep it to yourself. Mm-hmm. No, we want to know too. But I really pat ourselves on the back. I think we did everything pretty well as we could.
But going forward, if there's anything that we can do better or the venue could do better, we can't fix the process if you don't tell us. We can't refine the process. Well, I'm saying if going forward, I hope we can have we're going to have all of our cons there.
I hope so.
Until they run us off. But the fact is, if let's say there's something about the venue that's just not perfect, or about us or the way the con's being run, come and talk to us. I won't kick you in the taint, I promise.
No specifics?
Oh.
You don't have to be specific.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you the option.
Yeah.
We didn't hear any complaints about the con. That's what I'm going to say.
Exactly. The con, everybody to our face raved about the venue. And how wonderful, because it is an amazing venue, that we're lucky to be in.
Extremely lucky.
You don't know how lucky we are. So we
You can't imagine how expensive it is either.
Yeah, it's insanely expensive because it's the nicest hotel in this damn town. So understand something, we're lucky to have the place, so we need to be nice to them. I'm just going to put that out there. We'll try to just put it out there. We need to be really nice to the venue and say nice things to them about them. But if there's something wrong, let them know right then. So
or let us know if you're not comfortable with it.
We'll be glad to drop on that grenade if you're like bashful or something. But talk to us, okay? But anyway, I'm not going to say any more about that. But we had a great time. We heard a lot of good things about the venue.
Everybody loved the venue.
Can't wait to go back.
Yep.
Good stuff, Maynard.
Anything else?
God, I know we're forgetting somebody or something. I feel terrible because everybody was just great and we had such fun. We were on cloud nine when that con was over because everything went so well and everybody so much happy. If you're having a good time, then that's what makes us happy.
Yeah, I said it many times. That was the year that we had to survive success. Yeah. Could we get big and be in the good location and just kind of live up to expectations? Can we be good enough for what you want from us now?
Yeah.
And with all the help of our GMs and little helpers along the way, I think we accomplished it.
Yeah. If you had a good time, go out into the world and tell people this con's great, da-da-da-da. Not that we want to get much bigger.
Well, yeah, not much at all.
We really don't. Because we're just two guys.
We hit about 150.
Yeah.
That's going to be the official number that you hear is 150.
Yeah, officially, yeah.
And the biggest that we're ever going to get is 2 to 250.
Yeah, we've drawn
That's
a line
where
in the sand.
we're cutting, yeah.
Because we're just two guys, And the thing is, because if it gets too big, we're worried that, we're glad that we can provide you with a really good con experience. And if it gets too big, two guys probably can't do that. It's not worth getting bigger if we can't. We want to keep the same level of excellence.
And we can fit 250 people in there and still be roomy because we can use those other two rooms. Like you may lose the GM lounge, but it'll become play space.
And you mentioned that. We're really proud of that. And the people doted on us. We love our players. We love people that pay to come to our con. But down the line, always my number one thing is, when Eddie was like way back in the day, let's do a con. I was like, we can't do a con unless we have enough game masters. That was always my biggest concern because my greatest appreciation is for GMs. No GMs, no games, no game, no con. So we had a GM appreciation room. There was all kind of cool snacks in there, sweets, chips, all kind of a smorgasbord of beverages, great selection.
Nobody abused it like I was worried about. I figured everyone might sneak in there, but now people were respectful and
Yeah, it was a great
used
place.
it wisely.
It was quieter, some nice couches and chairs. I saw some gyms in there prepping their games or sitting on the couch reading their module again, getting ready and highlighting. So it was really great. The way to place where you could go be quiet, away from the crowds to prep your modules or whatever.
Robert Kelsey, that's one that we're forgetting the big name.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, good Lord. Nobody runs more games than Robert. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Robert's great. We appreciate him. He tried to scare the crap out of us this weekend. We may have to go to his house hog time and drag him.
Yeah.
You know,
He'll be at the next one, whether he likes it or not.
whether he wants to be or not. But yeah, we can't thank him enough. And everybody loves his games.
But we had the GM Lounge and we had a GM raffle.
Yeah, it was specifically for GMs. As many ways we can say thank you to the GMs. We appreciate them. We really do.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think that's enough.
That's more than enough.
Too much, really.
So, we're all out of hit points with our 0 level characters here. We'll see you next time.
Later.